Wait, you're from New Jersey? What part of New Jersey?
I'm from Marlton, New Jersey.
Where is that?
It's right outside of Philly.
Okay. Oh, wow. So, I mean, do you default? Because I mean, I was sort of like mistaken when I said that, like, oh, maybe you'll be watching the Bruins game. It's just like, why the F would you be watching the Bruins game? I'm from Jersey, dude, and you're like right outside of Philly. So are you a Flyers fan?
Yeah, so I grew up as a Flyers fan. Obviously, being so close to Philly, it was my family owned season tickets, so we would go and watch a lot of the games when I was growing up.
Well,
And
absolutely.
enough to have Brian Boucher as one of my coaches when he was Flyers. So that was a great connection.
What I wrote you. So when you joined the Bruins, did you join them on a tryout, or did they come at you knowing that they wanted you to start in net for them? And when did Northeastern get involved? Because you didn't commit to them until after the season was over, and that's not so unique, but you're sort of young to commit to them, like
Yes.
in the off season, kind of,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but then again, as I wrote you too, you did have a really phenomenal season for the Junior Bruins this year.
Thank you.
So
yeah. So after I graduated Lawrenceville, I was working with my coach, my advisor, and my goalie coach just to find a home for next season. And the teams that I was talking to, one of the teams ended up folding because of COVID. And another team that we had spoken to because a former Lawrenceville player had gone there, they ended up getting a goalie to come back. So Coach Anderson sent me an email, and it was kind of like a blessing because a lot of the options that I had kind of were falling through the cracks. So
and this was for the Junior Bruins.
Yeah, for the Junior Bruins. Coach Anderson reached out, and it was perfect timing. My family was like, "Listen, we kind of want to get some stability here and commit to a team going into the summer and midsummer." And Coach Anderson reached out, and from day one, he was very, very nice and told me about everything that the Junior Bruins had to offer. And ever since then, it's been nothing short of that. It's an unbelievable organization. When he reached out, obviously he was recruiting me and telling me all about how they've sent a lot of Division I goalies off to like Gale went to Holy Cross and many before them to Division I schools. But he made it clear, it was like, listen, when you come in, you're going to have to compete and earn that starting job. So, and I think that's kind of how the Junior Bruins organization is run. You're given what you earn. And so I think going in, that was kind of my mentality. So I was invited up to a camp in Vermont. And I think I kind of put my name out there, especially there, because they hadn't really seen me play in a while. And then since then I had a great start to the season, and the rest is history. So
when did Northeastern get involved then?
Yeah, so Coach Anderson and Coach Butler had been speaking to several schools throughout the season. I had some phone calls with different schools that were interested, but because of COVID and the transfer portal, a lot of schools were very patient, and their kind of general message was just like, we're very interested in you. We want to keep watching, and we don't want to put you in a situation where we commit to you now and then we end up bringing a guy in from the transfer portal, just because it was crazy. Everybody was going to different spots. So towards the end of the season, I sat down with Coach Anderson, and going into the playoffs, he just said, listen, like, you can't control any of that. You just got to go in and work your tail off, and good things will come just from doing that. So I think going into playoffs, it was just my goal to get the team as far as possible. And everybody around me, obviously we wanted to win the championship, but we fell a little bit short. And Coach Anderson told me in my exit meeting shortly after that Northeastern had reached out before the semifinal game, and basically said that they had been watching me throughout the season and they had seen me before this season, and that, they really liked me as a goalie and as a person. They felt like I was a good fit. So next thing I know, I was on the phone with Coach Keefe and Coach Madigan, sitting with my family, and they gave me the good news that they wanted me to commit. And, I'm just unbelievably grateful for that opportunity, and I can't wait to get there and get started. But yeah, they reached out to me later in the season, and things came together really quickly, and some good timing on their part and my part that our paths crossed. So I just ultimately decided that it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So.
And that's what you made me think of, just that like it just sort of like happened so quickly and such. Was it anything that like when you were going into the junior Bruins, were you thinking of that, like that you wanted to like hook up with like a D1 school? Is that like the path that you're sort of like thinking of as you're going in to like hook up with a team like junior Bruins?
Yeah.
On the
So obviously,
junior level.
Yeah. So my dream, ever since growing up and starting to play hockey, has been to play Division I, somewhere. Obviously, growing up in South Jersey, Princeton was kind of like a dream school of mine. Just going to Lawrenceville as well and being able to visit the town a lot. But going into juniors and kind of my senior year and just playing in several tournaments obviously opened my mind up to other schools and all the great places that are out there. And just growing up, as you watch hockey, you learn more and more about every level. And so Northeastern wasn't necessarily on my radar. But when they came out and they reached out to me, it was like wow, like I can't wait to go to Northeastern. I never imagined that I'd be sitting here saying that I'm going to Northeastern, but I'm extremely excited to get there. And, I just can't wait to make the most out of my experience once I get there. So.
They just graduated a goalie, and I think that their top goalie was a junior last year, so he'll be a senior next year. So you'll be coming into a good spot. And then they have another goalie, but he's a pretty small goalie, and I don't know what their sort of designs are. So I think that you'll be coming into a good situation, having seen that team a lot. I got to photograph that team a lot this year and see that team a lot. Okay, so as an 18-year-old, and the next thing that like occurred to me that I couldn't spit out earlier was like, now do you start to think about NHL draft?
Yeah, so I missed my draft year. I wasn't drafted in my draft year, but obviously with committing to Northeastern, it opened so many doors for me. And Devin Levi is the goalie who's there as a freshman this year, and he's going to be a sophomore, and he was drafted. So I'm excited to get there and kind of, learn from him and just compete with him in the crease. And I think that goalie that you were talking about who was playing this year, I am sure he transferred. So I'm excited to meet the other goalie who's going there as well, and and get to work and compete. So.
Right, because who's going to be kind of going there as like a goalie, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who you're going to be like up against, competing against, and playing with.
Yep.
Right.
And I can't wait for the opportunity. And obviously, once you get to that level, everybody's so talented. You can learn something from everyone, and I can't wait to get there and just compete.
Well, that's awesome. Well, TJ, like, I'm so glad that you're like my first, like, interview here on collegehockeyplayers.com. We just started this website, and I just like have so much fun with it. I'm coming from a lot of like a minor hockey league world into college hockey, and I'm like so excited by it. I got to see so many teams play in the year before, the year that got busted by COVID, and I'm just so excited by it, and to see like players like you this year play junior hockey and then get to go up to Division I. That to me is kind of what it's all about. And then if you can reach your next level, again, it's the same sort of thing. That's what it's all about,
Exactly. Northeastern is a dream come true, and I just, like I said, can't wait to get there and get started, and the work starts now. So.